guys. That's not good.
Although some fans are seriously unhappy about the upcoming Transformers 1 movie, the question that's gnawing at some fans is, who's the main villain? I mean, Megatron and Optimus are friends in the movie, so it's safe to say that they're on the same side, at least for a while. However, this lovable bromance would eventually turn into a serious and irreversible rivalry. But there has to be a catalyst, right? Who's that gonna be? You could say this catalyst would be the secondary but overarching villain, so if you're one of the people who would want to know who the big bad of Transformers 1 is gonna be, we've got you covered. So, I'm gonna divide the video into 3 parts. First, we'll talk about what the director revealed about the true villain. Then we explore who the secondary and overarching villains are. And finally, we'll talk about the Decepticons, who are confirmed to appear in the movie from the trailer. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. So thank you. Let's begin.
Don't you want to see what's out there?
Transformers 1 director reveals the villain, sort of. Needless to say, Transformers 1 was set in a time when there was no bitter rivalry between the two apex Cybertronians, Megatron and Optimus. And although the movie has a bit of a comedic vibe going around, one should not assume that this would be anything like the first G.I. Joe movie. A rather goofy movie with punchlines and everything, with a bit of action spread out here and there. According to Josh Cooley, the director of Transformers 1, the movie will have a serious and sinister villain, and a super grim tone as it unfolds. And this villain will be the one dividing the film's main protagonists. The first trailer of the film shows who's gonna be the main villain. In one of the scenes, one of these bad guys was speaking to Sentinel Prime, and not in a good way. But if we were to go by what Josh Cooley has to say, the primary villain would be growing tension, differences, rivalries, and enmities between D16 and Orion Pax, aka Megatron and Optimus Prime. So this growing animosity would bring about doom in the lives of the Cybertronians, and pit one against another before they fight a secondary villain together. Presumably the Quintessence. Why am I mentioning Quintessence? Well, 1, the trailer hints strongly at them, but I'll get into this in just a bit. To be honest, the film's hook rests on how Megatron and Optimus would fall apart as friends. At least I, for one, would watch the movie for this very reason. I know that this is not exactly what we know about the history of the two Autobot and Decepticon leaders, but I think this movie could lead to several new dimensions being opened. Cooley also said that this relationship between the two is the most important thing to him. To quote him, "The relationship was the thing I like. I want to make sure that this feels like that's what's really at stake, no matter who else shows up," and all that stuff. It's really about Orion and D16. However, the film's premise itself allows the creators to have a secondary antagonist. Are those Quintessence? So yeah, it pretty much looks like the Quintessence, who are the quintessential franchise villain, are set up to make another appearance, this time around in Transformers 1. There are a few blink and you miss it shots that hint at this. I mean, just look at this giant ship on the surface of Cybertron. Right before this scene, Megatron can be heard saying, "There's a reason no one goes to the surface. It's dangerous." So does it mean that Cybertronians are barred from going to their own surface by another supreme race? Why are they living underground on their own planet? Of course, their designs have been notably changed, but the typical elements of Quintessence are still present in these designs. I'm talking tentacles and a mix of organic and mechanical physiology. Here in this still, you will notice that these aliens are deboarding their spaceship to meet with Cybertronians, who are presumably led by Sentinel Prime. On either side are soldiers, who look a lot like the G1-style Quintessence battle troop. Just look at how this tentacled monster is treating Sentinel. I mean, it's practically pulling off all of Sentinel's limb, as if the tentacled monster wants to break them. So yeah, whoever these aliens are, they do not like Cybertronian. But who are they? Who are Quintessence? The Quintessence are an old and strange race tied deeply to the Transformers history, linked to both Primus and Unicron. Known across the galaxy as crafty traders and businessmen, their deals often involve schemes and betrayal. They rely on cunning technology and manipulation more than direct combat. When needed, they use their Sharkticons and Alicons, along with their spaceships for defense. But without these, Quintessence are completely defenseless and cowardly, especially visible during a Sharkticon revolt. Some ancient Quintessence, possibly security officers, had offensive capabilities, with arm tentacles turned into large blasters. Despite this, they couldn't defend against the transorganic beasts. It's unclear if any of these armed Quintessence still exist. Where else have we seen Quintessent tentacles? Well, the Alpha Quintessent from the 2005 Energon series. Here's one of the rare Transformers toys that doesn't transform or include a transforming accessory, much like the Action Master. This toy requires some assembly straight from the box, and breaks down into 6 parts. The main body, a wheeled base that looks like a bed of tentacles, a missile launcher that attaches to the back and aims over the head, and 3 wire posable rubber tentacles that connect to the base, a yellow clamp, a red chainsaw, claw, and a purple energy arc. Rolling the base activates a gear system that spins the tentacle. The figure also has 9 ports for attaching energon chips, or other 5mm peg weapon, 3 on each arm and 3 on the base. Which Decepticons are set to appear? Well, of course we have Megatron, but apart from him, we get several other fan-favorite Decepticons like Shockwave, Soundwave, Starscream, and Arachnid. To know more about this, please check out our video on every Transformer confirmed in Transformers 1 trailer, explored in detail. I'll leave a link in the description.
Whoa! I got a battle mask! It appeared with this guy!
Marvelous Verdict. The first trailer for Transformers 1 just dropped and showed off new characters and hints of the plot. The film, directed by Josh Cooley, aims to attract a wide audience. Cooley wants it to be a family-friendly movie that fans of the original series can enjoy with their kids. I mean, that would be pretty cool, right? Kids who grew up watching the first animated show are going to watch the new animated movie with their kids. Surreal. He hinted at deeper story elements to come, particularly around the beginnings of the feud between Optimus Prime and Megatron, which we might see more of in future trailers or the movie itself. Cooley sees Transformers 1 as the starting point for potentially more stories that could set up the core characters for a trilogy. I can't say I won't like that. What about you? The movie explores the earlier days of Optimus and Megatron, back when they were known as Orion Pax and D16, and delves into how their relationship deteriorates. Transformers 1 stands alone from the recent live-action series and sets the stage for the upcoming G.I. Joe crossover. Josh Cooley also mentioned that the film sticks with the original villains, but also introduces new secondary ones. The movie is set in space on a different planet, not Earth, calling back to the sci-fi roots of the 1986 The Transformers the movie, despite having a different tone and plot setup. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone!